So Roy Shaw and Hamza Al-Fayez from the front row of the grid are the favourites to book their places in the finals. And so we'll keep an eye on their progress from the early stages. But it is obviously going to be touch and go as to how this weekend is going to progress for them. They will put on a very, very good show. That is for certain. But we know right from the off that this one's going to be very ultra competitive indeed. And nobody is very clear how it's all going to work out. But the drivers know that this is their last chance. They've got to put on a bit of a show here and get themselves up into the positions that will get them into the race. Only the top 6 across the line is good enough. So, as the weather forecast states that we are likely to have a spattering of showers, I say likely, it's a 40% chance of rain at about this sort of time. The sun should come out around 2 o'clock, and then we are unlikely to get rain again until 4 p.m. when racing will have finished. So, let's see how it goes, and it's a cracking start in the second chance heat. Hamza Al-Fayez gets the best start. Roy Shaw, however, is going to hold the inside line and tucks into the lead. So Roy Shaw takes the lead early doors. Hamza Al-Fayez in second position has already got a challenge from Simone Bianco. Bianco trying to come through, but Hamza Al-Fayez holds him off, and that's given Roy Shaw a nice clean break. So out in front goes the Praga chassis, and a little bit of a duel down the back straight. Oh, and that's a spin. That's Alfie Slater who's gone for a spin down the back straight. He was battling away with somebody. Couldn't quite see who that was. It looked to me like one of the Praga chassis potentially, but it could just as easily have been one of the FA racing carts. Couldn't quite make out. Oh, and a spin there. That is Luna Flusha. Luna Flusha spins in the first hairpin on the second part of the lap. That is a real shame. So now she's going to have to try and fight her way back. I think she just caught the wet patch on the far side of the apex. So now Roy Shaw is leading the race. Out in front he comes through, and it's a really good start. So Simone Bianco runs in second position, having now got past Hamza Al-Fayez, and also through Thibaut Jalard has got past Zico Hopkins-Collis, the Australian. So Hamza Al-Fayez is still there in third position, right in behind Simone Bianco. Thibaut Jalard has gone onto the back of them in fourth place. Then it's Zico Hopkins-Collis and Andrea Pirovano. And then it is Rodrigo Seabra in seventh position. So the Portuguese star is just one place away from qualification in the finals. So let's see what happens as Hamza Al-Fayez continues to shake off the attentions of Thibaut Jalard. And as they come down to the hairpin, Roy Shaw running very well, knows this circuit absolutely beautifully, and is able to take an opportunistic lead here and is really starting to consolidate that advantage. Simone Bianco in second place. Third is Hamza Al-Fayez, and he's still trying to get through once again on the Italian. Fourth position, Thibaut Jalard and Zico Hopkins-Collis, the Australian, looking likely to qualify as well in fifth position, although he's got pressure from Andrea Pirovano. Niels Lelaw has got through into seventh. Zuko is now eighth. Maria Nito is ninth, and Rodrigo Seabra 10th from Freddie Housley, Luna Flusha and Alfie Slater, with a non-start from Mason Rudman. So the drivers continuing on their way. Plenty of racing still to come from these 6 laps, but Roy Shaw is running absolutely spot on the mark. The Nassau's looking a little bit dislodged there. Not sure what's happened, but certainly didn't see anything untoward. So Thibaut Jalard has got through into third position past Hamza Al-Fayez, and I think Pirovano has got past Zico Hopkins-Collis at the back end of the straight as well. So yes, Pirovano's got through, and a warning flag has gone out to Alfie Slater, and I'm guessing that's got to be for what happened on the first lap. So whatever it might have been, then perhaps the officials have stated that it looks as though Alfie Slater is the one who has effectively been put at the foot of the blame there. Didn't see the extent of the incident. I only saw the result of it. So Hamza Al-Fayez is on the back of Thibaut Jalard. Roy Shaw, Simone Bianco, Jalard, Al-Fayez, Pirovano and Zico Hopkins-Collis are the 6 likely to go through at the moment. But Zico Hopkins-Collis is on the bubble, and the 969 is trying desperately to get away from the chasing pack, which has Niels Lelaw, Alessandro Zucco, Mario Nito, Rodrigo Seabra, Freddie Housley, Luna Flusha and Alfie Slater all in the mix. So the drivers are trying to fight their way back through, but on this very tricky, greasy, slippery circuit, they are still trying to do a fantastic job. Up the inside, that's a nice maneuver, I think, in the battle for 7th position. So that is going to be Alessandro Zucco, who takes up the battle. So let's see how the battle continues on in the way. Down the main straight, and this is a good run from Zuko. He's up into that 7th place spot, which is 1 away from qualification as Rodrigo Seabra goes side by side with Marianito, and he gets through. So Rodrigo Seabra gets there. Marianito still has a chance to get through, but she's got to keep digging and stay hungry and in the fight. 10th position will do for the moment, but there's only 4 laps to go. So the drivers are still trying to get themselves through the rest of this race. But there still could be a lot of changes for the rest of the proceedings, as the competitors are now starting to find that this difficult part of the race, they need to make some moves, and Rodrigo Seabra makes the move up to the inside into 8th position and gets past Niels Lelor. So Rodrigo Seabra moves his way up into 8th position now. He's 2 places away from qualification. He's going to get onto the back of Alessandro Zucco. But Roy Shaw is still your leader from these 3. Simone Bianco, Thibaut Jalard, and Hamza Al-Fayez. And these guys are still dueling away around the circuit on a dry circuit with rain under threat. But there's no real cause for alarm at the moment from the drivers. It looks as though they're still going to be dry for the remainder of this race. Hamza Al-Fayez sets a new fastest lap as he gets back on terms with Bianco and Jalard. And maybe he's going to try and make his own bid to go through. But the top 6 finish is enough to qualify. So even if you don't win the second chance heat, there is still an opportunity to get through if you place in the top 6. But you've got to be careful. You don't want your front fairing to be dislodged. These guys are starting a proper battle now. Simone Bianco leads Thibaut Jalard. They've got to be careful. Hamza Al-Fayez trying to come around the outside. And now in tow is Andrea Piravano. My apologies. Out of the final turn. And down the main straight, Hamza Al-Fayez is going to get some support to go through into 3rd place. He drifts out wide on the exit, and that's enough for Thibaut Jalard to get back through. And now Andrea Piravano is going to try and stamp his authority on Al-Fayez. He comes through on the undercut and through into 4th position. Nice work from Piravano. A bit of a setup move there and into 4th place. So now Hamza Al-Fayez still looks good for qualification, but down to 5th in the second chance heat. So Roy Shaw is still out in front on his penultimate lap, and nobody's been able to touch him in this one. When he's got a clear track in front of him, he's absolutely unbeatable in this second chance heat. Freddie Housley, by the way, has managed to get the move on Niels Lelor, so that puts him up into 9th place. And Rodrigo Seabra has got through into 7th place on Zucco. Marianito's now got past Niels Lelor as well. So Marianito up into 10th position. Last lap for Roy Shaw, and it's looking fairly dominant, actually. Here comes the battle for second, and Bianco's going to get passed by Jalard and by Piravano. Hamza Al-Fayez is trying to stay with them, but now from second, Simone Bianco is down the order to 4th position. Bianco trying to get himself back into contention, but he doesn't want to get too close to Thibaut Jalard and Andrea Piravano's front fairing. So Andrea Piravano now looking for 2nd place on Thibaut Jalard. Piravano sweeps one way, comes back to the other. He's going to make the move up the inside of the hairpin, makes the dive. Bianco cuts through there as well. Bianco now runs wide. Jalard goes through on the inside, and Hamza Al-Fayez is on the grass. Careful. It's very wet on the grass. He manages to save it, but a big mistake in 2nd place from Piravano as Thibaut Jalard gets back through. All of this is just going to help Roy Shaw run away with an uncrushable victory out of the final turn. Roy Shaw dominates, and he's very happy with that one. 2nd position across the line is going to be Thibaut Jalard from Andrea Piravano and Simone Bianco. Then it is Hamza Al-Fayez and Zico Hopkins-Collis. Those 6 are set to go through. Then Alessandro Zucco and Rodrigo Seabra. 9th position goes to Freddie Housley, and Marianito is 10th from Niels Lelor. A very disappointed Luna Flusha and Alfie Slater come home in 12th and 13th place. And obviously there was a non-start from Mason Rudman. Well, it's a real shame from their point of view. They've worked very hard up until this point. But the popularity of the mini-series now, of course, means that there are some who will have to watch from the sidelines. Roy Shaw takes the victory from Thibaut Jalard and Andrea Piravano, Simone Bianco and Hamza Al-Fayez, Zico Hopkins-Collis in P6. And those 6 are set to go through, barring any penalties. Alessandro Zucco and Rodrigo Seabra from Freddie Housley, Marianito, Niels Lelor, Luna Flusha and Alfie Slater. All 13 drivers that started the race will finish. But unfortunately,